What's up, everyone? It's the SixBillium going commando, no hat tonight. I was planning on being a lot more prepared for this, but YOLO, I edited all day instead. So, how's everyone doing? Is everything working for me for once? Let's let everyone filter in, see if stream works, see if chat's going on, see if all the things that normally don't work are working yet. But, hi, Pixie. We're not even 30 seconds into the stream yet, and you are already being annoying. Hi. If you're gonna keep being annoying, you're gonna have to come up and sit on my lap and help be my co-host. Or just lick yourself. Cats, am I right? Man, can y'all believe HHN is almost here? We're what? Less than three and a half weeks away? 4 weeks away? Something like that. Hi, Mom. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for stopping by. Hope your day has been more exciting than it has been the past few days. Told you I was going to be live at 7 o'clock, Sky. Janice, welcome, welcome. I have no idea how long this delay is also. This could be like a 2-minute delay for all I know. But yeah, let's go through some hype lists and talk HHN. It looks like everything is working as far as I can tell. Please ask me questions or anything that you guys think of, because that will stir my memory for all of the things that I wanted to say. But I for sure want to kind of talk about some of the things that I've noticed so far, or like, I don't know if expectations is necessarily the right word, but like some things based off of opinions based off of things I've seen in the past. And of course we got to make a hype list. Everybody's got to make a hype list. Aw, thanks for believing in me, Sky. I appreciate it. I haven't streamed in a while, and I had to update everything, and everything looks new, so I'm still trying to figure all of this stuff out. I'm gonna be doing a hype list here in a little bit. And wait, let a few more people fold in, but like, what are you guys most excited for? You know, I'm not an IP guy. I'm normally an original guy, but like this IP lineup, spicy, sexy. I gotta say, maybe the best IP lineup that there's been in a hot minute. Maybe ever? I don't know. Like, there isn't a single IP hunt. Hi, thank you, wifey. Welcome back. There isn't a single IP hunt that I'm not excited for, even though I'm not caught up on my homework. But we're gonna actually go on to H2H in a little bit to make that hype list, because Josh is awesome and helps me out with all of this stuff. Cause you know what? I don't really know my hype list. So we're just gonna kind of do it in like a bracket style matchup, and then that's gonna decide what I'm hyped for. I mean, I could tell you probably what I think I'm most hyped for, but we're gonna have to see. All right, what's up? Let me head back. I think Wyatt 6 is gonna be cool, honestly. I have done absolutely zero research, so please feel free to enlighten me during this stream and or point me in the right direction of what I can research before I go to the event. But I'm kind of just looking at it as another original, more or less, or like an inspired by hunt, kind of like Nevermore, Madness of Poe. Like, seems like it has cool ideas. So it'll be a new environment to me. It'll be something that I can continue to learn more about after the event ends, which normally isn't something that I'm used to. So maybe I'm just overly optimistic, but I'm looking at the positives. Here, let me try and get some, Nixie, stop screaming. Let me try and get some, construction pictures of scare zones popped up here first. And we can talk about scare zones here for a little bit, because these scare zones, oh, chef's kiss. You know, I may or may not have a video coming out before HHN, and I say may or may not because I haven't started on it, but I'm hoping I will. That kind of talks about scare zones and what I like about them, but I feel like HHN scare zones in general are like, excuse me, very mid, and I'm not saying that to be a hater or whatnot, but like, there's only so much that you can do to New York, and it still looks like New York. Central Park is always the spooky pumpkin woodsy aesthetic scare zone, you know? So there's not really a lot of transformative properties that Universal has done. They used to back in the day when I started going, when they'd have like projection mapping and acid assault. That was cool. But, you know, I've just kind of been like, you know, scare zones are scare zones. They kill time. That's kind of been where the, let's see. I need to try and figure out how to, get this stuff the way I want it real quick. But so far what I'm seeing of the scare zones this year has me very, very excited. Especially, what is it, Cat Lady on Crooked Lane or whatever it's called? The crazy cat lady that I'm married to. What?
Excuse me.
What? Stop glaring at me. I didn't do anything. Nothing you know of. Ah! Look up the Fiend debut and the Wyatt 6 debut. Okay. I will add those to my list. Maybe I'll look at it after stream, but probably not, because I just learned that I have to be into work 2 hours earlier tomorrow for a meeting, so yay. Yay, my free time, it never exists. Anyways, real quick before, as I finish pulling some of this stuff up, shameless plug, member countdown. It's going to be Friday this week. It was going to be Thursday, but I'm closing, so I'm not going to be streaming at 1 a.m. on Friday for you guys. I'm very apologetic, but Countdown 4 members stream will be on Friday, public release next week. As many bazillion videos as I can try and get out in the meantime before HHN starts. I'll be at HHN Vegas in what, 10 days, a week and a half, and I'll be doing a stream after to report on that, so you know, let's see how it goes. Mary, welcome. Klondike64, what's up, my man? Thanks for coming in. Ow, Jesus, Nixie. Can you not claw my dick up? My God. Ow. I just died, so I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, let me... Yes, your claws are stuck in my shorts. This is hurting. Yes, me and Josh are going to be at Horror Unleashed on opening night. Very excited. I looked at some... I'm not going to talk any spoilers because I know some people don't want them, and I just looked at the one video, and it was interesting. Yo, thanks, Klondike. Appreciate it. I always know you're with me then. I always feel your pain. All right, let's see if I can. We got some cat lady pics from Bio Reconstruct. Oh, I'm so excited for this zone, y'all. Yeah, we for sure can, Sky. I think our entry time is 4 o'clock or something, so I'm sure in some capacity we will run into each other. Otherwise, I'll be at premium night and opening night and all that jazz, so sure, everyone will be able to find me. I can't remember if this is the one that has all the... or if this is the post that has all the narrations or the storyboards in it, but y'all, I'm so excited for Cat Lady Zone. Like, every little detail just looks incredible. There's an actual story. Like, ooh, it's so good. Let me see if I can... And the fact that we're getting actual stage for the Cat Lady house. I think it's been updated since then, or since this one, but like, oh, I'm so excited. The scare zones are back to being more than just places where actors pop out, and ooh, your boy couldn't be happier. I don't know if Skull and Spooky's here yet. I haven't seen him. Also, thanks, Adrian. I hope to see you in the fog this year for sure. Let's do it. Am I on Insta? Eventually. Technically, I have one. My wife kind of helps me manage it, so I never use it.
I fail. I'm sorry.
Listen, neither of us have time to do anything, so it's kind of a wonder that I had time to stream tonight. But anyways, yeah, extending Cat Lady, so good. What was the other one that I was going to look at real quick here? I don't think there's anything in New York yet. Oh, but I will show 2 little things that I think are kind of funny so far. So even though I still haven't gotten around to making a video on it because I'm a terrible content creator, I love Not Scary Farm. I think Not Scary Farm is better than HHN in some capacity, and the good vibes I'm getting about this year are kind of reminiscent of Not Scary Farm to me. I noticed on the Hatchet and Chains facade posted by BioReconstruct that it says Pony Express, which, yes, it's a very common term for the era and story, but I like to think of it as them stealing it from Knott's. Pony Express, best coaster ever, feels like a prostate exam, 10 out of 10, would ride again. But also, let me see, is there a description for the scare zones yet? I can't remember, because Mobster Mafia, or whatever it's called, it reminds me very much of the Goring 20s at Knott's. Mutations, toxic 20s, same thing. Basically the exact same thing that I just said. Trouble brews on the gritty streets of a 1920s neighborhood when a mobster escape collides literally with disaster, because of course it's BuzzCon, because BuzzCon is everything now. Fan service to the extreme. That's it. That's my little rant. Like, do we have to have a BuzzCon reference every year now? It's been like 3 years in a row. Like, I'm kind of over it. Give me some love for some other things. Is there going to be BuzzCon at HHN Vegas? But anyways, I'll get back to you in a second, Skull and Spooky, because I keep segueing. I do hope there is another merch drop. My wallet is almost prepared. Used to have every tee from...
Your wallet is never prepared.
Shut up. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I need to get some... I just got a 2008 shirt, so I need to up my collection a bit. Yeah, Klondike. Pony Express definitely examined you. Oh, it's everyone's favorite Not Scary Farm memory for sure. Yeah, I haven't been this excited for HHN in a while, and Skull and Spooky was asking me if I think that this year could potentially be one that rivals 2021, and I know we say this every year. Yes, I think it could be, but I think that this is more based off of actual things that have been seen and less just based off of my lofty expectations of the event as a whole. I'm trying to see if I can find where I put my Knott's footage, because your boy has an absolutely atrocious workflow, which I was trying to fix before the countdown, but it'll be a daytime before HHN thing this year, which is fine. But what I'm seeing, yes, because from the cohesive theme with the conservatory in the streets to just the Crooked Cat Lady Scare Zone extended, building up, it's not just props, there's actual, like, walkways, whatever you want to call those runs on the side, and they have an actual stage. Like, this, to me, is looking like HHN going like, oh yeah, we've done some good stuff in the past, like, why haven't we been going crazy? At least that's the way I feel about it. So it has yet to be seen. Where is all of my Knott stuff? I feel this is old. Maybe I still have something Goring 20s here. But anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, and even some of the tweets that I've seen about the haunts themselves, like LRTista apparently has 3 freaking facades instead of just 1. Like, that is screaming 2021 vibes to me. And again, the way that I kind of view HHN every year is that it just has to have 8 haunts. That's it. The other 2 at this point are just bonuses, because HHN 2011 was the best Halloween event anywhere that I've ever been to, 14 years ago. God, I feel freaking old saying that. Ugh. But I don't think it's possible for anything to top 2020 or 2011, and that's not me being an elitist hater. That's just because it was 8 perfect haunts, no flaws, no notes on basically anything. And I have yet to see another year with more than like 5 or 6 haunts that I don't have strong opinions on. But I'm really hoping that this year pulls out all the stops. Even the IPs that I'm not as excited for, I still think are going to be crazy. Like, I was just reviewing, I guess, spoiler alert, Evil Dead for the countdown the other day, and I was thinking about how bloody that one was and how it had a water warning. So that is getting me a little more excited for Terrifier, because it's been a long time since we've had a good gore haunt. I'll get back to chat here in a second. I promise I'm not ignoring you guys. I just forgot how much stuff I actually shot at Not Scary Farm because I didn't turn my camera off for like 6 days that I was there. So and I only half organized everything, so I can't find this Goring 20 stuff anywhere. But I don't want to give up because I ain't a quitter. Don't laugh at me. I hear you over there, ma'am.
I was gonna say, if you set me up, I'll organize all your stuff.
I believe I've asked you to do that, and then you didn't.
You need to show me what I need to do, and I'm an old lady with technology.
Okay, boomer.
Yes.
I found more pictures of I found more thumbnails that are the back of Josh's head than I have of what I'm actually looking for, of actual characters. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay, I'll give it like 30 seconds and then I'm calling it. Oh, is this it? No, that's Ghost Town. It might get loud. I don't know if my volume's up on this stuff. Okay, here's some. Oh, I forgot. I forgot I have to open it in. Not that, because... Alright, let me play this. Let me play this and stop. I can actually respond to you guys. So this is Not Scary Farm Goring 20 Scare Zone. That's part of it. But this is basically mutant, mutation, whatever we just called it, to a T. Like, this is the exact same concept, except for instead of BuzzCon, it is another mysterious green liquid. Also, this is unedited footage, so I don't know what's actually going on and what isn't in it. I've been trying to do the same thing like 17 times. Well, just so you guys get an idea, if not or HHL can match this,
Hey, we catch flights now.
Video is all the way up on this one. LOL, sorry everyone. I was testing sound effects, so I forgot it was all the way up. Okay, where was I? Sky, yes, I did see Legendary Truth stuff at Horror Unleashed. I also saw one of the, whatever they're called, from Midnight Snack 2 in Slaughter Cinema, and I can't remember the other thing I saw that I was like, oh, Lady Luck's Wheel! Yo! That had me hyped, as you can tell by my everything shaking. I'm not prepared to spend all my money on HHN stuff, Mary, because my backpack isn't going to be big enough to bring everything home. Sky, I know I'm saying the same things I did last year, and just wait for the countdown, because I completely meme myself in it. But now I've learned to be disappointed. But like I said, the vibes I'm getting, you know, I was moderately excited last year, but not... I want to say I was expecting to be blown away by anything. I'm expecting to be blown away by a few things this year. I was expecting to be blown away by a few things in 2023, and I was by at least 2 or 3 haunts, but I'm not telling you that. Yeah, Skull and Spooky, it's crazy that Origins of Horror has such a long footprint as well. I'm curious to see what the 2 entertainment options end up being, the Party Zone and the Roller Skate and Zambies, but we'll see. We'll see. I want to wait for more details before I talk about those. What were the other BuzzCon references the past few years? Last year it was in Triplets and... or there was a little container of it right at the facade of Triplets right before you went in. And it was also what caused the Night of the Living Clowns to go all toxic. And I can't remember the year before. have a, let's see here. I don't have a list in front of me. My visual, whatever. I can't pull haunts from years out of my butt as well as I should be. But I'm fairly certain there was something in 23 as well. I can't remember. Is there something in Yeti? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, I'm just kind of over BuzzCon. Like, there's so much other stuff to explore in HHN, like... But again, New York is always New York to me. Maybe with BuzzCon, that means Acid, and we'll get something like Acid Assault, where they use projection mapping again. Maybe that's why we haven't seen a lot of construction on the streets yet, is because a lot of it's going to be digital. Who knows, though? Thanks for stopping by, Adrian. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid as many more Horror Unleashed spoilers as I can, but it was very weird seeing Jack and Chance in an environment that wasn't Orlando. Yeah, I know, Josh. Everything I do is embarrassing. Y'all, I've been looking at 125 haunts for the past month straight without getting to think about anything else. They all kind of blend together at this point. Yeah, I'm curious. Terrifier going into Soundstage 25 theoretically. Everything on the right side of that map, even though this is still the spec map, is more or less confirmed. Dolls, Hatchet and Change, Galkin, or however you pronounce it, Fallout, and Jason. Sound stages, I think Artista was officially approved for, or confirmed for 22 at Spooky Empire. I'm not sure, though. But I don't know if there's any official confirmations on the sound stages. I'm not caught up yet. But 25 is big. So, you know, Walking Dead, End of the Line, still the longest haunt I think HHN has ever done. I feel it's going to be something more akin to that than the bigger, massive sets of like Stranger Things and Poltergeist that were in there. But that also means that theoretically, Soundstage 24, which is where we've got Grave of Flesh, may also be like using that entire space, since it's not a dual haunt location for the first time in 12 years, because Evil Dead was the last one that, or was the only other one that's only done it. So maybe that means we're going to get a super big grave haunt as well. And I can't remember if I talked about this last stream or not, but I do think it's interesting that Grave of Flesh sounds very interesting to, or very similar to the beginning of Poltergeist haunt in Orlando, at least, where you're walking under the house in the pool that's flooding during the rainstorm, and you get into these underground tunnels. Like, almost everything about that sounds exactly like Poltergeist. I need to get better at multitasking when I stream. And while it hasn't been officially confirmed, I don't think yet, for Hollywood, the facade looks pretty much, let's see if I can find a picture of it. The facade that is being built in Hollywood is pretty much identical to what their Poltergeist facade looked like in 2018, I think it was. So I'm curious if maybe, here's a HHN365 tweet about it. But I'm very curious. It's evolved since then, but it's identical, trust me. But I'm curious if that was the plan, to originally bring it to Orlando as well, and not just Hollywood, and Orlando decided to pass up on it in favor of doing something more of an original. I guess we'll see in about a month. We can compare how similar the layouts are. But I think that's a potentially interesting little tidbit. I'm getting there. Stop bullying me. I've been bullied enough. I won't bully you guys back. Hey, Skull and Spooky, you're at my level now. You know every haunt since 2010. But do you know what the best one ever was? All the haunts this year have an entire building themselves. Yeah, I suppose I didn't realize that everything is solo and the only split is Soundstage 23. But I guess Jason also kind of has like a few different connected, like it's not the same, but Jason has more than one plot that it's taking up. The first half of Poltergeist was the best half of Poltergeist. So if any type of Poltergeist is coming back in form of Grave of Flesh, that would be the part to recreate. Halloween 2022 is the best haunt ever made. Well, I respect your opinion. It might be a wrong opinion, but I respect it because not everyone has the same likes and dislikes as I do. And as long as it brought you joy, that is the most important thing for you. How was that? I didn't even start laughing. Josh, I think I checked and your H2H thing was working. Yell at me or bully me in chat if I'm incorrect, but I think if it is, that's time to vote or time to head to creating this hype list and trying to figure out what I'm most hyped for. I think it's an original. I think I know which original it is, but I'm not entirely sure. So I guess we're gonna have to see how it goes. And IP wise, I have absolutely no idea which IP I'm most hyped for. Like, I do not have a single idea. Scare zones, though, I could probably do real quick. Let's see, scare zones. Cat Lady of Crooked Lane #1, obviously. I think Masquerade #2, whatever it's called, Vampire Masquerade. I already forgot all these. I already forgot all of the names. Masquerade Dance with Death. Definitely #2, especially since I've heard rumors that it's going to be an evolving scare zone, kind of like 7. And it sounds like it. You received an invitation to a Halloween masquerade, an opulent affair where guests don masks inspired by legendary monsters. But as midnight draws near, the illusion begins to crumble. One by one, the masks slip off, revealing not costumes, but vampires. That sounds evolving to me, and I'm totally down for it. Cat Lady just is way more my aesthetic. Right, cats? Right. Origins of Horror probably has to be #3 for me, though, because so far the scenic looks great. It's big, it's extending into the park, and as we said, Mutations, Toxic 20s. It could be really good, but it does not seem like the most original. Well, I guess it's probably one of the more original ideas for New York in a hot minute, but to me it seems like kind of a knockoff. And again, the BuzzCon angle doesn't have me not excited for it, but it's kind of like, it's like Jack the Clown. They found something that was kind of cool and they're just milking it to death. Aaron, welcome, and One Tiny Life. El Artista is definitely going to be up there. I think El Artista is going to be my #1, like, in general. Maybe not my #1 most anticipated, but I just have a feeling in terms of quality and in everything that I like in haunts, I feel like there is no way that that's not going to come out on top. Yeah, Aaron, seems like a very good mix this year. There's the few, you know, get a beer and hang out. And also, I think Grave of Flesh is going to be the sleeper, like, terrifying haunt. Yeah, like I said, WWE sounds cool. I know nothing about it. I'm kind of looking at it as, like, as a, not a synergistic IP, but as, like, you know, inspired by original, kind of like a Universal Monsters, like an IP, but not an IP. So, because they could go any way with it, as far as I'm concerned. So, Yeah, agreed. Masquerade was top of the list until they started building Cat Lady. Yeah, classic HHN feel. How is our El Artista going to have 3 facades? That's a great question. I'm wondering if it's going to be something like Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. Where's Klondike 64? Castlevania mentioned. But where you like step into a painting and then there's just a brand new world that you enter. That's that is 1 or 2 of the facades. Or it could just be something like The Forsaken, where, you know, halfway through this manor, we go into this just courtyard of whatever, this courtyard of the house, and there's just we get to see a giant facade of the back. Also, Nixie, you scratched the heck out of my knee. Thank you, cat. Ow. Is there anything else off the top of my head that I can think about that I wanted to talk about? You gotta wait till the Epic expansion for that, Nick. Sorry. Oh yeah, a few other people asked questions that have been in the chat that I forgot I need to answer. Janice Schmidt asked how I feel about the potential Stay and Scream changes, which if you guys haven't heard, it seems all but confirmed this year that Stay and Scream zones are going bye-bye, and it's going to be wristband based now, which honestly I think is a good idea. Do I think it's gonna suck this year? 1000%, and that is absolutely nothing against the ops or anything like that. I just think it's one of those, you know, first year trying it, there's bound to be hiccups, there's bound to be learning curves, and I think that we're not going to get over those hurdles until we get towards the end of the event, but that's part of the growing pains. But, I mean, I think it's going to be worth it because, you know, New York used to be like a war zone from like 5 p.m. to whenever everything would drop. It was just a stampede of everybody trying to get in line for Stranger Things or whatever else was up there. And trying to corral all of those people into a line at once. Like, oh, it just sucked. And now, essentially, you can just have, you know, a bunch of, like, all the lines opening at 4 o'clock. The one thing did say, you know, potentially 5:15 opening for Fallout, which means some other haunts may be opening that early as well. So an hour and a half isn't that bad of a wait to kind of start your night off. But again, instead of having all these people in 2 spots, now you're going to have a lot of different areas filled in. You know, knowing that Fallout opens at 5:15, I would imagine that Galkin isn't going to be far behind it. But then, you know, the path back to Fallout in itself is essentially enough to corral a bunch of Stay and Scream people anyways, especially if they end up putting more food and beverage back there than they did last year. And then sound stages, they're each going to have their separate queues that are corralling or bringing people on. So, you know, I think it's a good thing. I'm going to do a vlog on premium night, which I guess this won't be in. So you guys probably won't hear me talk about it until after opening weekend because it's so swamped, or at least in a video form. Maybe I'll do a live or something. But I think it's a change to look at optimistically. I think operationally it's going to be a challenge requiring more staffing from different departments, as well as longer hours, and like I said, just the learning curve of trying to do everything for the first time. But I think it's something that's going to be positive overall, because, you know, most of these HHN people, or most of the people staying for HHN, aren't going to just be, you know, hanging out in the streets. Some of them will, to be able to see the scare zones and whatnot, but like most people are going to know what haunt they want to hit up first. Most people are going to have a game plan, and those that don't have a game plan are just going to go with the flow anyways, and as soon as they start seeing a bunch of people heading for Five Nights at Freddy's line, they're going to jump in as well. So I can't see Park Sweep being a major issue. The biggest thing is just the lack of shade in many of the queue lines. And, you know, what are you going to do when people are sitting there for, you know, an hour in the exact same spot? Are they going to have, you know, water stations or something? Like, not water stations, but like beverage carts, things like that. Again, just things that I wonder. All right, I'm gonna YOLO this and see if... Oh, well, you just texted me that HHN H2H is good, I think.
I'm more just laughing at the fact they're gonna have to get those lines built very quickly. If
Yeah,
they're
that's...
tear down. They don't have as many teardowns, but there's still lines that are teardowns that they have to build every day, and that's the part that I'm worried they're not gonna have down pat, because that's always the struggle with HHN is getting them built.
No, yeah, I was gonna say Q build. Yeah, I'm curious about Q build. Is it gonna be like a permanent whatever? Like, is it gonna be more permanent queues? Because again, they're gonna have to have these queues open by 4 o'clock, which either means they're gonna have to start having a bunch of staff in at 2 p.m. when the event closes at 2 p.m. to start doing this stuff. Or are they gonna do things that are more permanent? Is something already in the works for Fast and Furious? Or not Fast and Furious, Rocket's replacement that might be Fast and Furious going forward, so they already kind of have a plan for how HHN queues are going to look going forward. Welcome, Deej. It's all good. Yeah, think about the ops. Think about the ops. Yeah, don't know if I saw anything that said where the wristbands are going to be, but I think, yeah, that wristband distribution, I think, is going to be another thing that is like, could be whatever you call it. One of these days I will not be distracted while I am doing this. Okay, I think I have... Yeah, that's the other thing is how are we going to control line hoarders? Is it going to be an issue, or with a bunch of different haunts all opening up, is it not going to necessarily be as big of a deal? Like, are these queues going to fill up because they're not going to be moving for any period of time? Or are they going to progressively extend as, you know, the queue lines fill up? You know, we're going to figure it out. Ooh, the Fast and Furious queue being different is interesting. I think I like that change. We're gonna have to see. All right, enough talking. Let's start talking again. All right, let's make this hype list on H2H, baby. Let's go. All right, so I will post a link for this in the chat here, or in the description later on, or you can go to hhnh2h.com and play along if you want. But Josh has made this awesome website. You can rank haunted houses across every event every year. I like to do it sometimes, and I'll do more of it leading into the event. I just never have time. Yes, Guy, I was waiting to see you pop up with Terrifier right away. There's also this hype list feature that he's working on that we're previewing. That's basically just like, you know, head to head. So this is going to help me decide what my hype list actually is and if it's going to turn out the way that I think it is. And I am going to go, I think, with Terrifier for this one. But before I officially click it, the reason why is because I've been let down by Stranger Things too many times. I've been let down too much by these big headliners being just very, very basic in their presentation, and frankly just not that exciting. Just the, like, you know, ooh, look, scary things, yeah, fun hunt, have a beer, okay, bye, thanks for stopping at HHN, we love your money, appreciate it. And even though Jim Henson Creature Shop did work on the puppets, I don't know. I'm saving myself the disappointment by voting Terrifier, and if it ends up not being, or if FNAF ends up being phenomenal, then A+. Ooh, I need to add more Pinhead Larry type emotes at some point. Also, I have something I have to show you guys. I can't remember if I've showed this on stream or not, but I was cleaning today and I found it. So give me a little bit to rant, and then I'll see if we can put this in high resolution. Josh, you're not going to get flamed for saying you didn't like the FNAF movie, because the movie was terrible. The movie was the definition of just boring and basic. But anyways, finally, a more exciting matchup, Grave of Flesh or Fallout. Fallout has a potential to be very much like Zyborgs, which, you know, I talked about 8 zillion times last year, or Alien versus Predator from 2014. And, you know, I want a legit sci-fi house, like more sci-fi than bloody horror. Not necessarily, hi Pixie, not necessarily sure if Fallout will fall into that category, but getting something that's more sci-fi-ish is very intriguing to me. Grave of Flesh could go one of two ways, but I'm still gonna vote for it. I think it's going. Are you laughing at me?
No.
Sure, you're not.
My parents are asking questions. I have to answer.
But I think Grave of Flesh is gonna be this like sleeper hit. Scary one this year. Like, I think that's going to be the Insidious, and nobody's really expecting it to be the Insidious. Everyone's just kind of looking at it as the generic original, and I think that's going to be what makes it the sleeper hit. I'm also going to put Wyatt 6 surprisingly above Five Nights at Freddy's, because again, it's kind of like a glorified original to me. I'm more curious to see how they do something that I have no idea about versus how something I already know is going to look, if that makes sense.
I say I'm excited for Wyatt House.
Yeah.
See,
Like I said, I need to do my... Nixie! Yeah. I told you if you came over here screaming, you were going to have to say hi to everyone.
Can they even see her?
No, they can't. Oh, get up here, you little fatty. Say hi, everybody. I was annoying, and this is my punishment. If you want to know how annoying I can be, watch the next episode of The Countdown, because I don't shut up when my dad's recording lines. Okay, you can go now. Alright, got that out of my system. Gulkin versus Grave of Flesh, come on. You know, because I'm excited to potentially see something that is as scary as Insidious. You know, if we're basing Grave of Flesh just off that, but Gulkin and Artista are easily my top two most anticipated. Whether it's originals or not. Like, that's the only thing that I think I can confidently say is those two are gonna top the list. If any of the other scaredy cats come on up,
Cohen is stretched out on the table downstairs. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know where the boys are.
the babies.
Ranking series will be, next episode of The Countdown will be out next week. The members preview will be this Friday, but number 4 is coming out, a week from Thursday. What is that? The 14th, which I guess is the day that Horror Unleashed opens, so yay, synergy. But I'm trying to get the rest of it done before HHN, so hopefully you'll have all of it this month. Fingers crossed. Also, Skull and Spooky 2011 shout out. Let's go. Yeah, Gulkin has me. Ooh. Gulkin has me feeling things already. I'm so excited. I don't know what I'm going to do when I learn it's not pronounced Gulkin, and I've been saying this wrong the entire time, making myself look like an idiot, but I don't care. Well, I am a little... I don't want to say... I'm curious to see how Dolls goes, but I'm still going to put it up, because even though I'm not necessarily a fan conceptually of the miniature angle, it could also be done really well and really cool and be something that makes me eat my words. I don't know. I would rather see a bunch of scenes that are, or I'd rather see a bunch of detail in sets with lots of little hidden things and tiny moving parts and all of that, as opposed to a bunch of really big props, even if it's done really well. But, you know, I'm a Dollhouse of the Damned simp, so if it's anything like that, we are A-OK. Yeah, the doll's facade is I'm not but I will say I'm not necessarily against having the house logos as part of the facade. You know, since everyone says I'm a Dead Meat ripoff, is that what I'm supposed to say? It's like the title card. But stop laughing at me. I know you were holding that in. But, you know, it's kind of like A Quiet Place cold open to me. You know, I think more of those types of intros for haunts are cool, and I think something that, like, this big dramatic announcement, like, you're entering dolls, let's play dead, like, I think it's something that has been done really cool in the past and could be done cool, but I don't think this is necessarily the way to do something like that. Let's see. But Fallout versus Wyatt 6, we gotta go Fallout. Said puppets, sci-fi, cool stuff. I haven't seen Jason yet. I'm curious to see where Jason pops up. Obviously, Grave. Terrifier may be my #1 IP. We'll see. But El Artista, man. Oh. El Artista. What a haunt. Ooh, now here's a good challenge. Terrifier or Fallout? I think we're going Fallout. I think the reason we're going Fallout is that Terrifier has the potential to be so scripted that it's not surprising anymore. Or there's so many scenes that you're watching that it's like timing dependent and you miss it, or it's all victim scares. I feel like, you know, Terrifier is a tricky one to do and it can be done really well, or it could also fall victim to its own pitfalls. And I guess you could say the same about Fallout, but I think Fallout is going to have more variety, I guess, is what it comes down to. So let's see. Josh, you're gonna have to remind me how to check this at the end and figure out if I did it right, but we'll see. Galkin, 100%. Cold. Oh. Ooh. Galkin's definitely above Hatchet and Chains, though. But I think Hatchet and Chains is going to do a very cool evolution of the Dueling Dragons effects that we saw. So I don't think it's going to be... I don't want to say the stinker that everyone thinks it will be, but I think it's going to be much better than mid, which is where I think a lot of people are expecting it to be. But I'm still putting all my money on Galkin. Still over Dolls as well. Terrifier over WWE. Even though WWE is something new and exciting, I still want to see a good Terrifier haunt. Ooh. But I don't want to see a Terrifier haunt more than I want to see a really good Jason haunt. I want Jason Universe to be what I wanted Halloween 2022 to be. I want Jason Universe to be Insidious but for slashers, and that's what I'm really, really hoping it comes out as. And I'm putting a lot of faith that that's the Jason haunt we're gonna get. We're gonna get something like good old 2014 Halloween slasher for the next generation.
I want old school Jason house that terrified me when I was in college.
Yeah, Camp Blood.
Yes.
Camp Blood looked good in 2007. Not gonna lie, I wish I could have done it.
That's what I want. I want to be terrified like I was in that house.
Ooh, Grave of Flesh having Descendants of Destruction levels of scares and intensity. I could see that. I could see, you know, the bioluminescent caves at the end being retooled and color tinted to something more menacing, but I can see something like that in those scares. I like it. It's just because I want to give you things to talk about, Skull and Spooky. if I had to pick a Chucky Orlando level stinker this year, ooh, that's a good one, One Tiny Life. That is a good one. Give me a second to think about it. I'm excited for dolls, but I think I'm still more excited to see Terrifier push boundaries a little bit more. I can't say dolls for Chucky level stinker because that's too much of a cop-out. I could say Jason too, but I don't think it will be because that would also be a cop-out being in Fast and Furious. But I think Jason will solve all the Chucky problems. Honestly, maybe Grave of Flesh. That's maybe the only one that I can think off of the top of my head. I think it's either going to be terrifying or it's going to be too dark and sensory heavy, I guess might be the term. It's going to be one of those houses that you either love or it just doesn't work for you at all. Like Pitch Black. Well, yeah, I think that's going to be Terrifier to an extent. But I think Terrifier is going to be a lot more basic.
I don't know.
I don't want to say basic, but it's going to be a lot more
I feel like it's going to
traditional.
I feel like it's going to be a disappointment like the Chucky house felt.
So your vote is for Terrifier.
Yeah.
My vote is for whatever one I just said, Grave of Flesh. Maybe WWE. Maybe WWE is the popular pick for it, but I don't know. I feel like WWE will at least skirt on the side of okay at the very worst. I also think Jason could do it, but I don't want to think about that. But these may end up being 2 and 3, I think. Gulkin, Jason. I think I'm more excited for Gulkin because of the winter aspect, but both of these feel like they're going to be very nature-heavy houses. And y'all know how I feel about when HHN does outdoor scenes. It is my favorite thing in the whole world. Ooh, but I still think Gulkin gets it.
You just like saying Gulkin.
Shut up. No, I don't.
Nixie agrees.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, Josh. FNAF could get too meta. That's true. El Artista, sorry dolls, rip. El Artista over Jason. It's close, but not that close. El Artista's winning streak continues. Terrifier versus Hatchet and Chains. Ooh, here's another good one. So we've got like good classic, theoretically, like splatterfest gore, like Evil Dead stomach churning gore, versus high concept slasher with modern special effects potentially, but an old school sensibility. Whew. I don't know. I'm getting more and more excited for Hatchet and Chains. I'm very deep in thought. I just want it to be known. I'm putting a lot of thought into this for you guys. And I think that's why Hatchet and Chains might actually be above Terrifier for me. If I would have just made a list, I wouldn't have come to that conclusion. But looking at it side by side, I think so. Yeah, I can see dolls not hitting for most, but I think why it's 6, like I said, is safe/accessible enough that even if it isn't exceptional, it's done just as well. Ooh, special effects with definite scripted moments or the unknown potential failure. I've always said I'd rather see an ambitious failure than something I feel like I've seen before, so I gotta stick to it. Fallout's still over Five Nights at Freddy's. Better animatronics, in my mind. Nothing's beating El Artista. Can you give me a glass of water when you have a chance, please? Thanks. Ugh. One Tiny Life, I can smell that. Ugh. Like, I can smell what you're describing. If FNAF's like that, oof. It's gonna be like Hollywood. Thanks. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say Slaughter Cinema is popular for feeling purposely cheap. I would say it's popular for being cheesy, but I don't think anything about Slaughter Cinema really looked that cheap to me. Maybe like schlocky is a better term, but you know, you could tell they were B-movie sets, and they fit in as B-movie sets. Whereas Chucky didn't really feel like anything. Like, where would you go? Like, Chucky wouldn't be the type of person to make a haunted house with giant cutouts of him on every wall. Like, that doesn't work with that either. Yeah, John Murdy's gonna have a field day with smells this year with FNAF. Ugh. And Jason, even. Ugh, muddy water. Let's go Five Nights at Freddy's, because both of these are big risks. If the puppets suck, Five Nights suck. That's just kind of how it's going to go. You know, if Doll's perspective trick doesn't work, then I don't know what else there is left of it that will make it seem more original or seem any different than any other doll haunt. Again, I could be proven wrong. I'm very optimistic in every single haunt this year, and I do think that it could eventually be better than 2013. Oh no, my light went out, so you guys get to see emo face now. Oh, hi Chino.
Here's the water.
Hi baby baby.
Where's the camera? There's the camera.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic for everything, but I'm playing devil's advocate. That's what you do. All right, but Hatchet and Chains I think is still above Y at 6. Jason Universe is I think #1 IP, so that's got to beat Fallout. Gulkin, obviously. Jason does beat Dolls. Is that the first time an IP has been over an original? I can't remember. Terrifier or Grave of Flesh now? I think Terrifier is just a single spot above Grave of Flesh, because if Terrifier is done right, I think it will have at least a couple of moments that are just as scary. And probably much cooler stuff as well. I think it's just a balance of how the aesthetics work, Skull and Spooky. I like the effects in Chucky, but I just think I think it was a fundamentally confused haunt, and I think that was more of a problem than it looking cheap was, at least for me. And I love, as much as I'm going to vote for LRT on everything, I love the cheaper, schlockier haunts that remind me of when I started going to Valley Scare in 2009. Like, I like the things that make me nostalgic for when I was just discovering haunted houses that admittedly probably weren't that great compared to a lot of this stuff, but meant even more, and I may have even enjoyed as well. Skull and Spooky, have you watched the POV for Hollywood's Chucky yet? Because that was a good haunt. One of my favorites there. Jason Universe, yeah, definitely above. Okay, here it is. Here it is, boys and grills. The one that we've been dreading this whole time. The one that we have to decide. Because on the one hand, El Artista, if I had to say anything, if there's any comparisons or any notes I had at all, it would be that this is reminding me so much of The Forsaken from 2011. Just in the description of multiple facades, the type of art style and influences. And The Forsaken was great. It has the best scene I have ever seen at HHN. The courtyard... Give me a second to Google this stuff. The courtyard in The Forsaken is like... so good. That courtyard changed my life. But the scares were kind of and it was very, very, very pretty to look at, but it just, a lot of people weren't super scared by it, and it was just kind of So does something like that, oh, come on, where's the picture of, I should say part of, because you can't get this courtyard in one picture because it's so freaking massive. Like, here's part of it. Let's see, how many of these can... Here's the, what, back right, back left. And these weren't part of it. I thought there was one or two more on here. Yeah, literally a scene so massive that it probably would take up literally half of a sprung tent. Like, not even joking. Like, the size of that was incredible. But, anyways, does something like that where the scenic is just so good, but the scares may be lacking, or it might overshadow everything else, is that going to be a match for something like Winter's Night that just had such a good sound design and was just so atmospheric with the outdoor winter setting, or combining that with something like, you know, Blood Moon and the open concept and the vibes of the colony, or whatever you want to call it, town, whatever the equivalent would be. Like, does that type of aesthetic combined with the likely much more intense fear factor beat out something that will easily top numerous lists in numerous categories? You know what? Who are you guys watching? What streamer are you guys watching right now? You are watching SixBillium. Not to be confused with 7 Trillium, but you are watching SixBillium, the HHN YouTuber with the hottest takes. Let's go for it, buddy. Let's go for it. Gotta start a fight. Tiger Band 66, since El Artista is the main house this year, do you think we'll have Easter eggs? 100%. 100%. I'll be honest, I haven't even stopped to think about what they possibly could be or what other things it would reference. Maybe as I stream closer to the event, I'll start to think about it more. But yes, I think that's going to be like the Case Files type haunt, or the Forsaken, where you're just every freaking set, you're like, oh, what's that? What is that? Thank you, Voice of the Boa. Thank you for coming semi to my defense. Well, Josh, you can call it an L take, but I call it just prophesizing. What are you gonna do when it's better? Then, huh? What are you gonna do when Galkin is number 1? Okay, Grave of Flesh or Jason? Gotta go Jason. I'm very excited for Jason, especially from the aerial POVs that I've seen of it in that new area. Pinhead Larry moment. Thank you. Jason's gonna beat Hatchet and Chains. Fallout's gonna beat Hatchet. Jason is gonna be... Listen, as I said earlier, I think El Artista is going to be my number 1. Like, I think that's probably going to be the better one. But I want to see Galkin be better. I want to see this weird mythological house, like, just completely obliterate what everyone thought was going to be the best. Like, isn't that a better opinion? Isn't it more of an L opinion to assume the thing that is going to be the best is actually the best, as opposed to thinking that the second place thing is actually the number 1 thing, the first place thing, which means that you have 2 things that are essentially like first place level? That seems more like a W to me. But hey, what do I know? I'm just the hot take YouTuber guy. Also, yeah, I love indoor forest scenes, so if Jason has a lot of that, like, That's gherkin, Josh. We watch enough Great British Bake Off in this household for me to know that. And yes, I think Galkin has potential for House of the Year. And I do like saying it. Shut up, Amanda. Grave over Dolls. El Artista over Five Nights at Freddy's. Grave of Flesh over that. Ooh, Dolls or Hatchet? So, special effects that I think I already know, and sets that I've kind of already seen, but an innovation on them, or an innovation on a much more established haunt idea, being Dolls, creepy toys. You know, I'm gonna say Dolls. I think they've got to have some balls to make a dollhouse or they've got to have the, you know, they know what they're doing with it. They wouldn't do it if they didn't think it was something that could be done really well and not just be more of the same, at least in my mind. Galkin. Should I just pick Grave of Flesh over El Artista now just to piss you guys off? I'll do it. I will do it, man. Ooh, WWE have an outdoor scene? Ooh, I hope it has a real outdoor scene. That'd be sick. I want to know what the WWE facade was. I didn't see that. It's like straw in Hollywood, at least from what I saw in the thing. It looked like that. Anyways, El Artista. Hatchet over Five Nights at Freddy's. More faith in effects than puppets. Oh, already voted. Am I at the end? Is this it? Was that the last one? Okay. I don't remember where I have to go from here now. I have to read your message. Huh. Chain link fence. Hey, I've been saying that chain link fences are highly, highly, highly underrated in haunted houses as a whole. So I would be very much okay with that. Josh, is there a way I can look at everything, like, from top to not top? I'm not smart enough, all right? I'm tired. I've been up since 5 a.m. And I'm technologically challenged. More so than you are. But I guess while we're waiting for me to figure this out, what are you guys most excited for? What's your number one? Or, more importantly, more fun, what's your number 10? I hope Hollywood has a different version of WWE because I don't like it when Orlando and Hollywood feel like exactly the same haunt. So I'm totally be down for something different. Josh, stop yelling at me. I'm tired. It says something went wrong. So. Wow. While we're waiting, let me look at some more. Let me get some more good construction for HHN to look at. So we didn't look at a Masquerade yet. Wah, wah, wah. But oh, these stages look so good. And stages, of course, mean time for things to change and transform. Nixie, where are you? It's you. She's asleep. You guys are no fun.
She's out, belly up.
Sorry you broke it, Josh. Oh, well, Josh broke it, so the suspense is we just get to figure out our own. We get to figure out our own hype list. We get to do what we were going to do at the beginning and manually or go back to it. And that just means there's more anticipation for the next stream, right? Excuse me. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about the fact that Terrifier will be a one and done even for people who are super fans. I didn't think about that. Or that potential. I forgot that not everyone goes through Haunts 8 zillion times like I do. So that's an interesting point. Oh, look at that. Look at that fence. Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, in just a second here. So I think if I had to, off of the top of my head, do one right now. Galkin. Galkin, El Artista, Jason, Grave, Hatchet, Terrifier, Dolls, Wyatt 6. No, Fallout over Wyatt 6, and then I don't remember the last one I'm missing. FNAF? FNAF at the bottom? FNAF might actually be at the bottom. Certified Pinhead Larry moment for myself right here. Okay, was there any other questions that I didn't answer that people commented on? I can't remember. Horror Homie, do you feel like original houses are going to be the best ever, good, mid, or bad? Somewhere between good and best ever. Strong feeling. At least I'm always hoping the originals are good, or at least better than the IPs. And then HHN Spawning also asked for thoughts on the new art style for the houses and scare zones. I really don't have that much of an opinion on promotional art, honestly. I think it fits the in-your-face aesthetic that this year kind of needs, in my mind. So there's nothing I've seen that's made me actively dislike anything. So, except for maybe Mutation Toxic New York Zone, I can never remember the name of. Oh, Aaron, I do remember you with Texas Chainsaw. I was just going through Texas Chainsaw for the Countdown episode today, and I was remembering going through it with you. When have I gotten scared? Dollhouse 2014 scared me.
There was something last year that got you.
At Orlando?
I don't know if it was Orlando. It was a specific scare that got you.
I mean, it may have been Red-Faced Demon and Insidious.
Maybe?
That got me every time, I'm pretty sure. Well, I can't... Wasn't anything at Knott's. Unless it was Cinema Slasher or Grimoire. I don't remember anything in Hollywood.
I would say, I think it was maybe something in Hollywood? I don't remember. I don't know. I always go first, and I just remembered you yelled. And then you said it was really good and made the scare actor laugh.
Yeah, I know I got good by Lipstick Demon. Don't remember anything else from last year. Ice Pick, whatever, Sword Guy and Ghostbusters at the beginning was nice. Otherwise, 2023 had plenty with Dr. Oddfellow, Exorcist, and actually top 4. Exorcist, Dr. Oddfellow, Darkest Deal, and Blood Moon all had a few good memorable scares. But let's see. Let me go back to 2020 real quick. Let me see if I can do a real quick list before I log off for y'all of the scariest scares I've ever gotten, or like the ones that have gotten me the best. I don't remember anything in 2020 really like getting me, other than Catacombs and Havoc being awesome. Nightingales, there was one chick that got me the entire time. Saws and Steam had some good ones, but nothing that terrified me. Ooh, actually, yeah, 2012 Dead End, maybe. Mom, I don't know if you remember Dead End or not, but that hunt was just very, very creepy. Like, very creepy. And I miss it. I hope that El Artista can pull off that sense of dread and creepiness. Ticket prices scare me the most, too. Ditto, ditto. Ooh, Walking Dead Dead Inside. That's a good one. There was one character, I think they were in like a toll booth or something, but it was in a part where you were outside, like outside, and it was wide open. And this dude just like flung himself. Scared the piss out of me. He's probably top 3 actor scares I've ever had in any year. That's definitely one of them. Nothing in 23 except for Evil Dead being creepy. 24, as we said, Dollhouse of the Damned. Those ballerinas made me almost cry. And that stupid freaking dollhouse whatever at the end, the whatever. I don't know what you'd call it. What do they call it on the wiki? I can't remember what they call bedsheet mummy nurse. That's what it was. This guy. Oh, every freaking time. Because there was a bunch of these. This is one of the fake ones. But I would literally lock eyes with this little bastard every single time, and he would still scare the piss out of me. So I guess Dollhouse has to get something for 2 pants-wetting scares from me. Insidious in 25 had some good ones, but nothing that changed my life completely. I think it was maybe slightly better than last year, though. Dumpster Mikey and Hell Comes to Haddonfield. Let's go. Dumpster Mikey, 10 out of 10. Best scare ever. Everything in Scarecrow, more or less. Everything in Seeds that wasn't supposed to move, which was 90% of it. That frickin' hallway and graveyard games, you guys know. You know. I don't think there was really anything in 30, but 30 was also a miserable experience for me. Not related to HHN, but just because of work in my life at the time. 2022... Walking past freaking grabber prop. That's got to be up there. And then, yeah. Sweet. All right. I think I'm going to log off. This was fun. I enjoyed it. As I said, I've also been up since 5 a.m., so I'm also very tired because I am trying to get countdown done this month for y'all. Finishing up new episode. Like, just thank you guys so much for tuning in. Honestly, I didn't even check. One time I peeked at my concurrent viewers. I'm looking at it now, and I was at 27, which I think is the highest I've ever had.
You got
Like,
up to 31.
I say it, which is awesome that you guys care enough about me to just hang out with me and talk for that long. Like, that's just so cool to me, and it makes me so happy. So I want to keep doing this. I want to do as much of this as I can and chat and communicate and bond and hang out with y'all. It's just life, man, is so busy right now, and the season's coming up, so yes, I will go live again soon. At the very latest, it's going to be, it's what, a Monday today? So at the very latest, it would be 2 weeks from today, because I would do it when I got back from Vegas to talk about that. But maybe I'll do something next week. Maybe I'll do something this week. Amanda closes every day, so I'll be sitting here bored if I'm not editing, so maybe I'll do something, or I'll try and do a fun stream or something, but I'm glad y'all love it. It just means a lot. I have warm, fuzzy feeling. I could never talk about with HHN with people for so many years because nobody really cared. And now there's a lot of people that care not just about HHN, but about me. So I love doing this. Stay tuned for the countdown and as many haunt videos as I can get out. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. Shout out to channel members as well. Y'all are MVPs. Hope you like my Get Shrek picture earlier today. Maybe I'll do more food reviews at HHN this year for premium night. Well, actually, maybe I can make Josh eat all the food and review it. What was I gonna say? But I will say the one spoiler for Horror Unleashed Vegas, that menu looks incredible. I'm a semi-picky eater, and all of that food and all of those beverages almost like are delicious. Like I feel like I'm going to be spending way too much money. So that's all I have to say. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. See y'all when Galkin beats El Artista in the rankings in a month, and I can clip this and shove it in your guys' faces that I was right. Anyways, I'm heading off. Thanks for stopping by, y'all. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and we'll see you for the next stream. So if you have anything you want to fight with me about, get it started.